Jennifer McIver, director of Wishbone Design Studio. Together with her partner Richard Latham, she started Wishbone in 2005 and have got a simple goal to develop a new generation of classic children's toys for the global market. They challenged themselves to create designs to transform the user experience, reduce consumption, deliver a positive environmental outcome and bring people closer together. Their multi-award-winning Wishbone Bike replaces multiple products you could have bought, broken and thrown away between the ages of 1 to 5. So a big round of applause for Jennifer McIver. Very good. And keep the questions coming through Slido. We'll have a couple of minutes to get a couple of those too for guests.
Hi, so I think that the SBN folk like it when like me to come and talk because our company, Wishbone Design Studio, represents what I was told this morning when I arrived, an ordinary business. We're grassroots. We're not big. We're family owned, but we do a lot in terms of our commitment to the circular economy. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about who Wishbone is, if you don't already know, what our thinking is in terms of circular economy, and what activities we do to implement that. This is a picture of our office space and our warehouse down in Wellington. We're in Mansfield Street near the zoo, and I always like to say that our door's open. Anyone who thinks that we might be interesting, come along and visit us next time you're in Wellington. It's not raining as hard down there. So we're part of the global toy industry, and last year, 2017, global toy sales topped $20 billion US, which is huge. So it's a massive sector. There is a stat that's bandied around at the moment: 90% of toys sold in that $20 billion figure were plastic. And many of those toys are low quality plastic. Many are designed for a single use or a few weeks of use only. Even higher quality plastic toys are often designed without thought to their disassembly. They contain a variety of plastics or a variety of other components, including metal, which makes them unviable at recycling centres. So we see this, everyone's probably seen this. If you've got a family, you've got a toy just like this somewhere hiding under your hedge. Yeah? So at Wishbone, our game, what we're interested in is disrupting the toy sector. Even though we're from a non-traditional toy design country and we're a small company, we want to make a difference. Our idea is that we should design toys with maximum play value that last a long time. As was said in the introduction, that we should make products that will replace 2 or 3 other things. So our primary goal is to slow down consumption, specifically of toys. And we find it's surprising that even though we're small and even though we're from New Zealand, we have quite a voice in this area. So consumers talk about us, and when we attend our trade fairs all over the world, we find that we are influencing our neighbouring brands and others in the industry. We have 3 primary products. This is Wishbone Bike, which we launched 10 years ago. It's a 3-in-1 product. It starts with 3 wheels. You learn to walk with it at age 12 months. It then converts to a balance bike, so it teaches kids to learn to ride, and the frame flips so that it grows with the child up to 5 years. We make it in sustainable birch, plywood, and also in a recycled plastic, which I'll talk about more later. This is another product. It's a 2-in-1. It's a rocking toy, and it's easily flipped without tools to become a ride-on toy. Wishbone Flip has a little cousin toy called Wishbone Mini Flip. This is our reinvention of the classic baby walker. So you would buy this either at birth as a baby shower type of gift or before the child, or at the time a child is starting to learn to walk. They'll learn to walk on it, they can rock on it, and again they can ride on it. We also designed it as a mix and match product. That means that it comes in multiple colours, and we've designed a packaging system. Our idea is that the consumer needs to be shifted from being a passive user of the product to a passionate co-creator, co-designer with us. If they have helped to make the toy and say, I designed that myself, they will love it more. And this is an important principle that we believe in, that people should love their possessions. This is Wishbone Wagon. Right here it's in use as a downhill racer. You can open a trapdoor in the floor and it's a Flintstone car. You can also pull it like a classic wagon. So our business began in the bathroom of our New York apartment many years ago. In fact, the business didn't. The first Wishbone Bike was designed here. In this bathroom, my partner Rich made 10 Wishbone bikes for people, strangers, who came running after him in Central Park and said, "Where did you get that?" This is our son Noah at 18 months riding his Wishbone bike. We made 100 more of them in our garage in Wellington when we came home to New Zealand. And now this is a photograph of our factory in China. We're in production with our partners from Taiwan. The factory is in action 11 hours a day, 11 months of the year. You can see the Wishbone bike frames there drying overhead. And the red items are Wishbone Flip waiting for to be assembled into retail packaging. On the right-hand side is our factory owner, Debbie. Her kids call me Auntie Jenny. So we're very close, and on the left is our full-time QC, Mark. So Wishbone by numbers, we've been in business 10 years. We have 11 staff, 8 of them are in Wellington and 3 are offshore. 2 sales in Europe and Mark in China. We have an integrated, so we have a reasonably sophisticated IT system which runs our global business. I wanted to mention before that New Zealand sales for Wishbone have never exceeded 10% of our total global revenue. So although we're an ordinary man-pa style business, we are focusing on export, and we have been since the beginning. Europe has always been slightly over 50% of our sales. Australia is another important market, and the US. And South Korea. So we have 6 regional warehouses which integrate with our IT system in Wellington, Melbourne, Toronto, New Jersey, the Netherlands and China. We sell B2B, so through retailers and distributors in 40 countries. That equates to about 1,000 doors or stores that sell our products. We have 2 global ordering portals, so one for consumers and one for our retailers, and about 98% of our orders come in through our IT system, so we don't manually enter those. So we're aiming for lean business systems through our business. And last year we sold in excess of 30,000 pieces of our primary products that I talked about before. So this is my circular economy cheat sheet, which helps me stay on track, and it sets up 3 mindsets that we need to be in if we want to be a circular business, 2 rules of engagement, and it lists, as a reminder, the 5, that's great, all the phones go up, 5 circular economy business models, which are where we look on a monthly basis for our business growth and business inspiration. So first up, these mindsets. The first one is innovation. And what we need to understand about the circular economy is that it is a true industrial revolution. It's a creative exercise. We need industrial innovation. That means business owners and designers in your company need to get on board. If your designers are not here, they should be. These are my 2 designers, so they're kind of here, but they said to me, we'll want to watch it online, so that's why they're not here. But your designers need to get into a creative mindset about the products and services your business creates. You need to be thinking radically differently, not the same and not a little bit the same. I absolutely agree with Professor Browngold about that. On the right-hand side is Richard, my partner, my life partner, my business partner. He's old school, and we're lucky that he just happens to design this way, with subconsciously, circularly, that he's thinking, what are the maximum number of types of play I can get from a single toy, and how can I get complexity and frills out of this product? So he's looking for simplicity all the way. On the left-hand side is Nick. He's a millennial, but he's not an annoying one. He's keen to learn. He graduated from his product and graphic design degree about 4 years ago, and interestingly, no circular economy lessons at all in any of his courses, so that, I hope, is something that's changing now. But he's the one who holds us to task on the principles on a daily basis to make sure that we're following circular thinking. I added a photograph of Red Rocks, which is the south coast of Wellington. This is 3 minutes from our house. And I put it here because we all have to be thinking, what is this space that we go to? So Richard and I go jogging here in the weekends. That's where we go to get our inspiration, to think outside the square about how our business could be completely different than anything that we've seen before or done before. The next mindset that's important is regeneration, and circular economy is described as an economy which is restorative and regenerative by design. I wasn't sure what that meant. It took me a long time to understand what does that really mean. I looked up the dictionary. What is regeneration? It means when you bring new and vigorous, more vigorous life to something. So at Wishbone, with this mindset, we think, We are here, we must be thinking cyclically, and we must be thinking in perpetuity. So very, very long term about what we're doing. And finally, prosperity. If you want to be a circular business and you're not actually succeeding as a business, then you're not circular. It's in the DNA of circular thinking that you will be prosperous as a business. I've put this photo here because at Wishbone we think of prosperity in the widest possible sense, meaning a full idea of well-being for ourselves, of our team, of our partners and our customers. So this was a well-being trip that we took to visit Agostino. He's one of our favourite distributors. He looks after Wishbone in Switzerland, and this is his hometown of Bern. And this is a photo where we're measuring the well-being of our team. This was the evening just as we were heading off to here in Auckland to pick up our Going Circular award last year from the SBN awards ceremony. That was a peak of well-being that evening. So rules of engagement. I have two up here, and the very first one is, I think, the most important basic principle to grasp if you're a business owner, that resources and revenue must be decoupled if you're going to be a circular business. So traditionally we think, oh, it's my access to my raw materials that ultimately limits the revenue that I can earn. The more I can get, the more I can make. And in a circular economy, that is exactly the opposite. We are thinking, I have a finite set of resources, and I should be thinking, how can I grow my value or my revenue with this fixed set of resources? Better yet, how can I reduce the raw materials that I use and at the same time increase the value that I'm generating from my business? There is a concrete measure of this called resource productivity, and I'm not the one, the earlier speaker could have spoken more about this, but this is something you should be thinking about in your business, is what is my level of resource productivity? What is the monetary value per unit of resource that I use? What is the monetary value I'm gaining for that unit? And that should be rising over time. So here's a couple of examples of how Wishbone achieves or decouples resources from revenue. As I said, we make multifunctional products. So this is the wagon, and this is its three functions. We maximize functionality per unit of resource we use to make a product. We design with classic styling. We're not on trend necessarily, we're just beautiful, and that will last. So the customer will pay more for something, and they will be able to buy it year after year after year, and we stay in fashion. We also spend a lot of time on modular design, and I will talk again about this in the talk, but this is just our humble M5 4mm stainless steel zinc-plated capping nut, which we use across all our products again and again and again. By reusing it over and over again, we make things much easier in our factory. We make it viable to offer all of our spare parts for repair. So modularity really helps us in our circular thinking. We also, as another example, bring technology into our manufacturing. So this is a photograph of a Wishbone Bike frame, and you can see that it's hollow. So we use gas-assisted injection molding, which is a technology developed only about 10, 12 years ago, and not in as wide a use as it should be. Wishbone has made the world's first ever mass-manufactured bicycle using this technique. We have a patent over it in New Zealand and in some other jurisdictions. And so you inject gas at the same time as you inject liquid resin, and that hollows out the form and enables us to create complex organic forms which are lightweight and use a lot less material than otherwise. So we look around for technology for solutions that can reduce the raw materials we're needing. The second rule of engagement is that waste is value. And if you're a lean business like we're trying to be, then you will have already learnt that everything you do in business is either waste or value. And the idea of a lean business is to remove waste. So if you're a circular business, as you're identifying what is waste, then you look at that waste and you say, where's the value in this waste that I could be using and not losing along the way? One example in our business, very, very early on, maybe in our second year of business, we went and visited our factory in China for the umpteenth time and walked out the back door. We hadn't been out previously and saw a pile of rejected Wishbone Bike frames. Quite a mountain of them, actually, a shocking mountain of them. And I think that Richard had an initial moment where he thought, shit, nobody sees this, you know, and came home and said to me, look at this photograph, I can't believe the waste. We had no idea. These frames were being heaped out the back because they were rejected for cosmetic reasons. When you make plywood veneer, it gets peeled off a log, and the veneers get laid up together, and invariably, because we use computer-aided manufacturing systems, as you cut your frames out of the wood, you cut and it turns out every fourth one on a join. If it so happens that the veneer on one side is lighter colour than the veneer on the other side, then that's a reject frame. And we were finding about 1 in 6 was being thrown out for no functional reason, only cosmetic. So we sat down and we started trying to redesign our cutting plans and figure out how we could reduce this waste to maybe we could get 6 or 7 before the line comes along. And we realised that we had not posed ourselves the correct question. Our question, and I think in business this was a lesson for us, that if you pose a bold question, it's amazing how the creative brains kick in and you've come up with a bold solution. So we put it on the whiteboard, how can we sell our waste frames for more than we sell our standard frames? And within seconds, the solution was obvious. We're going to put artwork, limited edition artwork, on our frames. And this has turned into a fantastic opportunity. Every year we release a new limited edition Wishbone Bike, and we get a different artist to create the artwork for us, and we use that opportunity to talk about the values of our business. So the bike at the bottom, probably 4 or 5 years ago, that's an apple bike design. We talked there about fresh fruit and vegetables for children, and we had a little collaboration with Jamie Oliver over that. The one in the middle is our space bike, and that bike's message is around imagination, how amazing it is that we ever made it to the moon and into space, and that we can solve the world's problems using collaboration and our infinite imaginations. The one at the top is our Aotearoa bike. The artwork for that bike was created by children from the Cannons Creek Opportunity Centre and their holiday program, and we give back, when we sold that bike, we gave back $5 of every bike to the Cannons Creek Opportunity Centre to pay for swimming lessons for those kids. So people are getting to know Wishbone very well year by year as we dish out these bikes, and we find fantastic media attention each time we issue a new edition from our waste. So I'm on to the 5 business models, and so the first one that I'll talk about is circular supplies. This means that businesses who are using scarce resources for whatever they produce should be switching from scarce resources to renewable, recyclable or biodegradable resources instead. And I've got an example here, what we do from the beginning. For 10 years of business, Wishbone has had a no plastic packaging policy. So we make sure that all our packaging is paper or fibre based so that it's easily recyclable by our consumers. We're not perfect on this, and we don't achieve 100% recyclability of our packaging. But what we do is shown as an example on the next slide. This is an envelope that we package our recycled leather bike bag in. And it says here, before recycling, remove adhesive strip, metal rings and string. So we make it our project to teach our consumers what to do, to educate them every step of the way on how to become a better recycler, how to actually, not to throw this in the rubbish because they're not quite sure whether the metal string and the thing can actually go in recycling. We tell them what to do. There's an opportunity to communicate more often than you think. So product life extension, the project, this business model is to look at the product or service that you offer and think, how can I extend the life of that for the consumer? What could I do to give it more longevity for them, for the first purchaser of the product to use it for longer? So I've talked about how we make multifunctional products. We make our products as adjustable as we can. So typically we're targeting age 1 to 5, and it's amazing how you can actually make products that is ideal for a 12-month-old and still ideal for a 5-year-old. We're also proud to say that all of our products are 100% repairable. Nice to follow on from Paul's talk on this. We design our products specifically to be disassembled easily, and we make all spare parts available on our parts market. And what was interesting when we launched our parts market on our website, overnight our warranty inquiries plummeted because people don't necessarily want to receive it free, they just want to receive it now and they want to be in control of that. So now we sell spare parts as opposed to giving them away. Also on product life extension, we support the secondhand marketplace. And so if you are a consumer in our biggest markets in Europe, so Holland is our biggest market, France and Belgium would follow closely behind, you would buy your Wishbone bike for €200 and you would aim to sell it again on Marktplaats, if you're a Dutch person, for €100. And people know that, so they're happy to pay the €200 at the get-go. I've put this visual in on the right-hand side. We're right now working on an IT project where we're updating all our software systems. We're also going to launch a new web shop early next year. And this is not on our web shop at the moment. This is going to be our new one. This will be the product listing on your phone. So you'll come here and you can see the add to cart button at the bottom. That's the buy now button, right? And underneath immediately we have a green button that says, or see these pre-loved products. So on our new web shop, we will offer the opportunity to our consumers to upload their product or actually upload their listing from a third-party marketplace, where they can then get profile from our website for people to come through and buy, and that will be region by region, automatically detected by the location of the visitor to the website. And I get questions about this. Are you really willing to divert that sale off to Trade Me, where you could have sold yourself? Of course we are, because the consumer who's sitting looking at this page and sees, oh, geez, I'm going to pay, this is actually an incorrect price as a graphic designer, really making up a price, but in New Zealand that product would be 275 New Zealand dollars. Well, the choice that I could pay $275 and I know I can list my product here later on, that's going to increase my sales as much as it's going to actually sell the pre-loved products. Either way, it's a good outcome. It's a win-win. So the third business model that we are engaged in, this is the one that we won, I think, the award for and that we're quite well known for in the environmental community, is resource recovery. The idea of resource recovery is what I was talking about before, where you look at your own waste inside your business or the waste of another business and recover that waste for value in your own business. So we decided we wanted to make a Wishbone bike for the Canadians, where our bikes were starting to crack a little bit because their climate is so dry and cold in the winter. And the Slovenians had the same problem, but also those in Queensland were finding mould growing on our wood because it's so damp in the summertime. So we said we want to target a new version of Wishbone bike to set alongside the wooden one to these customers in harsher climates, but also to families all over the world who are too lazy to bring their wooden bikes in at night. We want to make this new product durable. We were assuming that we didn't have to do the research that consumer did to just believe that people want it more durable. They want it more adjustable. We want to make a modular system with our bikes so that we can grow our bike range, our product range more quickly, and people can be flexible about what they buy and then change it into something else. And we want to raise our sustainability bar. We started out with an R&D process that took us about 18 months, maybe a bit more, with a company called Ella's Kitchen. They make baby food in pouches, and they were collecting these pouches and wanting something to do with them. They made an extruded board from their pouches. Their pouches is HDPE and aluminium, and this is the board. They sent us some board. We made a bike with it. And we realised it was ugly and awful and not torsionally rigid enough, so we redesigned our bike for it to try again with their pellets that we could injection mould in this shape. Here we are. Richard's holding on to a bike made from Ella's Kitchen pouches. So this was a prototype, and we discovered it wasn't going to work. The material wasn't strong enough. And at that point, that's when maybe a lot of people throw in the towel, but you need stamina, right? Persistence with business. And so we looked around and thought, what would be a material that could work? We'd already rejected steel and aluminium for scarcity and degradability and weather conditions. And we discovered that there is an unbelievably large volume of nylon carpet going to landfill. And this is a photograph of nylon carpet. So all over the world, this stuff hits landfill, and it has polypropylene backing and nylon fibre on top. So there's a material. We found these two characters. They're senior management at the South Carolina recycling plant that does this, that also owns a trucking firm that trucks up and down the eastern seaboard of the States and collects ex-residential post-consumer carpet, brings it into their factory. They recycle it into this stuff. There's the fibre on the left. They've got a lab on site, and they've spent 15 years developing a fantastically premium quality post-consumer recycled resin of various kinds. You can see that's a bag of nylon 66 there and a polypropylene. Looks like that at the end of their process, and that's what we buy, and we put it into our injection molding machines. Now, these guys spent 15 years developing this. That's what it looks like. Compared to the other stuff, the quality of this is outstanding. The lesson we learned here is that these people had spent so long developing this. We almost fell into the trap of spending another 15 years developing something ourselves. They develop it for these guys. Slightly bigger than us, right? And this guy, who's the CEO of this company. And that's his factory. So the moral of this story, this part of the story, is that when you're wanting to become a circular business, we're not looking to make the hardest route between A and B. Pick the easiest route, We didn't have to design a material. There's a material out there. We were the first people ever to use gas-assisted injection mold to make a bike. We're the first people ever to mass manufacture a bike from post-consumer recycled plastic. That's achievement enough. Let's get it going and let's get that progress happening and let's learn and move on to the next stage. And so, within a blink of an eye, having found the right material, this is the beautiful Wishbone Bike Recycled Edition that we created. We'd achieved our modularity aspirations. So this is the bike on the left, and it can turn into any one of these three things. The bottom one is with pedals, and that pedal kit has been 2 or 3 years in the development. We hope to launch next year. It's a very difficult exercise to meet all the world's bike standards at once, but I think we've got there. Our PCR plastic is available in any colour as long as it's black. And so we solved that problem with a modular set of accessories. So here we are with different ages using the same product. There are benefits of this process that we've been through beyond just the growth of our business. So one Wishbone Bike saves 30 litres of oil that would be otherwise used for virgin plastic, the amount of virgin plastic we put into the bike. We're diverting 3 kilograms of residential carpet from landfill for every bike we make. We're avoiding price volatility. This is an actual graph of the price of nylon out of China over the last 10 years. It's known to be a very volatile material. In the last 5 years that we've been buying it from our South Carolinians, we've undergone 1 incremental price adjustment, which made no difference to our bottom line. We get unsought out media and PR all the time. 3 of these came to us, the Huffington Post, who said that Wishbone is the industry standard in balance bikes. The Time magazine listed us as a top 100 green design product for the year. And The Guardian wrote an entire page article on Wishbone Bike Recycled Edition, which my mother showed me when she was going through her social feed. Incredible. On a similar vein, we get people buzzing about us on social media. Instagram is particularly important for us. It turns us into a bit of a lazy business because others talk about us and so we don't so much. We should do more. But that leads me also to brand leadership, and I think it's really important. I think it is for brands to take responsibility to educate consumers, to inspire consumers, and to help consumers articulate and identify their own identities. So we need to set out in the world our values. It's important to say what we believe in, and I'm not sure that New Zealand business is especially good at that. We're a little bit shy about saying something that's quite intimate, but I'm not. So I've done that from the beginning. This is a snip from our website where we say at the bottom there, our idea is to design stuff that is so good it changes you and the future. Just a little bit. So what's next for Wishbone? We are having this e-commerce project and an IT project, and we're grabbing the opportunity now that we're doing that to launch a brand new product for us, which we're very excited about, a PaaS, product as a service. And this will be a subscription to Wishbone, which will offer the consumer access to our full range of products for a monthly fee. The idea is that we want to be part of the process of teaching consumers that they should pay for use, not pay for ownership. Our Wishbone customers, we know, what they want is they want to see their child learn to walk. They want to see their child learn to ride a bike. They want to go out on a Sunday afternoon to the playground and offer their child the opportunity to get there under their own steam and learn independence and have a sense of freedom and free spirit. That's what they want. That's what they should learn to pay for. They never wanted to become the owner of about just under 2 kilograms of nylon, or 500-600 grams of rubber, or 400 grams of aluminium. That's not what they wanted, right? We do. If we can retain ownership of our raw materials, then we're motivated to move our focus away from sales volume, manufacturing volume, which are the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing we do, is make our stuff really well. We can move our focus to performance of our products, to choice of material for durability. All those good decisions we're looking for, we'll be motivated for that because we own those raw materials. We'll be motivated not to mix our materials through our design process into something that can't be unmixed, to design our products in a way we can quickly disassemble it and get it back into a state that we can sell it again. So here's an idea of how we think this is going to work, and I haven't we're in an early stage with this, so if there's anyone in the room that has a business which already offers a product as a service, I would love to talk to you at the lunch break because I've got a lot to learn. But I picture it working like this. The consumer will pay a one-off subscription fee, and then they will pay a low monthly fee. It would be around the $15 mark. For that, they will receive a Wishbone product of their choice. They can swap that Wishbone product as often as they like, and I've been in discussion with New Zealand Post. It turns out that they will ship in or out for the same price. They will get a lifetime warranty, free repairs, free product upgrades, special customer support for whatever they want to do with their product, insurance if they like, whether that comes in the cost or is added, I'm not sure. Also birthday presents. We know what they've got. We're going to have that data, and we can send out highly sought after Wishbone accessories like our bike bell and our seat covers to celebrate their birthdays. The monthly fees will be set up on a 12-month basis. So at the end of every 12 months, you get the opportunity to say, I want to terminate or I want to renew. If I'm renewing, you might want to send in your product and swap it over at that moment. If you're terminating, you send it back, or you can pay a termination fee and keep it. Well, our actions are the white ones and the consumer's actions are the grey ones. So Wishbone, with the return products, will be inspecting it and looking to see, is it good enough for resale on our pre-loved product list? Is it good enough for releasing as a pre-loved subscription, which might be lower than a new subscription? Maybe we need to refurbish it. Maybe it's one of our plastic bikes and it's in bad condition and we need to get it through to recycling and we'll make a new product from it. But I think one of the things I wanted to say is that it seems to me important that businesses can begin somewhere with this process of becoming a circular business. So we've never tried to be perfect, and we're not perfect now and we will never be in the future, but what we are is doing something, and I think it's easy to get a little scared by the notion that my actions may not be good enough. My sense here is that if we can get this rolling, we'll learn as we go, and maybe we have the advantage of being a smaller business. That's it.
Absolutely inspiring. Jennifer McIver, wonderful.